Hello, hello, and welcome back to Wheel of Games. Today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of, almost said Frosthaven, The Pale Beyond. Last time, we learned a little bit about a few different conditions our crew can catch, including how conditions progress at the end of the week. If you haven't fully cured everyone of malnourishment, it turns into scurvy. I miscalculated thinking that the food that we had prepared was going to cure 2 people of malnourishment and only cured 1. And so we ended up having one of our scientists ended up still being malnourished at the end of the week, and now he's got scurvy. So we're going to have to put one of our supplies of lemons in there to cure someone of scurvy now that it's progressed. Just regular food won't do it. But the other major development from last time is that our food started going south on us. Specifically, if we run down to the kitchen really fast, the tinned food that we have in there, the rations have now spoiled. So not only do they not give us the plus 20 food for the pot that they used to give us, but now it's only plus 10, and it makes one crew member become malnourished. So really, we can't afford to put more than one of those tins into the pot each month unless we're also adding something that's going to cure scurvy. So that's a major problem. Yeah, we can still get up to 3, but each one of these that we look at, yeah, it only adds plus 10 and causes malnutrition. Versus the good stuff, we managed to go down below decks and find some of that. Because now this is starting to look a little bit more flooded. We got into 3 different rooms last time, and those allowed us to, let's see, it's not telling us, like, yeah, that was the storage hold, but one of these was science items. We managed to get some, a whole bunch of bonus science, and maybe we can get a, time to get one of those migration routes unlocked and help us hunt more. Now that we've got all this problem with the food, the hunting is much more important. So that's one thing. We also got into the weapons holds. Now we've got a shotgun and a rifle that will help us with hunting, getting better stuff in medium and large. That's why I didn't want to get like the small penguins. They're probably not going to give you a lot of food, and I'm assuming that like I have to save up and it's all going to get expended when I spend our research on unlocking the migration route for, I think the seals, not the walruses, but hopefully they'll count as at least medium game, so we'll get bonuses towards that. And the last one was the food, which is where we got those 2 unspoiled rations. But as I remember, there were some extra lemons in there. Maybe it's worth having people pump open the door and we can go in and grab more stuff. But we may have to end up dealing with frozen again. Let's see, so one of the first things I always like to do is just grab the stuff that our character can immediately grab. That way we've got that sort of waiting for us when we address everything for the rest of the crew. But right, this guy with scurvy can't be assigned to things because he's got that, like he's fully has a debilitating status effect. Now that's a real problem. A lot of the things where we're doing research, it's better to spend as many people as possible because it looks like you can only research a specific spot once. Now that I've only got 2 scientists, it's not as ideal to do that. We also let ourselves run low on food. Now that I know about that, I think we should have just been maximizing food every time. I didn't know things were going to spoil. Back up we go. Okay, now I've got map control again. So, after grabbing basically the free stuff I can gather myself, I think it's best for us to start with the cabin, the meetings, and all of that stuff, the requests. Because best to have as many resources as possible. You'll also know, like, if someone's demoralized or something, we can send them to the photographer. Oh yeah, our day to night time is hardly any night at this point, but there's no night. Let's see. We're also worrying about when we're going to abandon ship. We put some dog kennels out on the ice, but I feel like we should be spending our time building more structures to prepare to decamp. We don't know exactly when the ship is going to crack, but it's going to get really dangerous pretty soon here. Ah, Templeton's waiting for us. Let's begin. Only 2 people this time. The pack leader seems to like us. Let's start with that one. Captain, thank you for building some proper shelter for the dogs. Loyalty. I appreciate the assistance from the crew. But the dogs are an important factor in this expedition. I'm certain you and your kennel will repay us in kind. You need not worry about that, Mr. Templeton. Again, thank you, Shaw. Okay, just a positive reaction to last week. Shaw. Put a stop to those rumors going on about Hunt. That simple? The sailors do seem to listen to you. Aye, you'll not be hearing them whispers again. Oh, well, easy to do requests this week. Or so it would appear. There we go. Captain, I would find it wise to have a word with the journalist among our crew. For whatever reason, Hunt allowed for a photographer with no sailing experience to tail alongside this expedition. Well, to be fair, we're not exactly sailing right now, are we? As it stands, Cassia Belford's record is what will stand the test of time when this expedition is spoken of. And it would seem she has not made allies of the crew. Oh? Hide myself again? She doesn't seem the type to make enemies. How so? Is it necessary? Well, yeah, we don't want, especially when we're in a survival situation, we don't want to have enemies here. But yeah, she doesn't seem the type to make enemies. Not with purpose or malice, Captain. The sailors of this crew are a private lot. They do not take kindly to the prying eyes of a landlubber, as they would say. Remember, Captain, she controls the story. She controls your story. Just to have a word. Try to get propaganda in there, I suppose. Well, before we go down, let's talk to her. It's getting colder. Noticing that, too. Remember, Shaw, reputation can be fragile. You do not need an unflattering image at a time like this. So he's telling us to go down there, but let's observe what we can. Heaven hell. What's it this time, Tucker? These bloody cigs aren't worth the crap I stepped in. You're the only man I know who can step in crap on the ice, mate. Huh, bloody right. Okay, he's not happy with the cigarettes. Let's go pet some dogs. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark. Okay. So, we learned through accidentally feeding them last time that we can use the fish that we got to recover more sled dogs, which will allow us to do more hunting, or maybe more expeditions. So that's another thing. If I had perfect foreknowledge, I wouldn't have done, but nothing left to talk with her about. Let's just take a look at the map, see if any new things appeared. So we've got 3 different research expeditions we could go on, but I believe it's up to 3 scientists, and this particular time, one of our scientists is hurt. But each one gives us some decorum and research. And of course, the thing that if you don't know, you can scan this thing. Like, is there a secret button I didn't know about? Does this do something? Nope. If you don't scan it, you don't realize that, oh hey, there's these things down here. So, yep, we have exactly 15 research, so we could hunt the migrating seals. So that's going to take a bunch of sled dogs, but that's the first time one of these has even been an option. So I don't yet know if it's going to subtract it, or if we just have to have that much minimum. That's another thing where, like, gameplay effect. I wish I knew how the game worked before I had to make one of these, life-changing decisions. But I don't want to bash the game. It's just, I need to make life-altering decisions, and I don't have gameplay knowledge of what the button's going to do. Okay, let's go down and talk to the photographer. Oh, the scientist's storeroom. We'll have to take a look at that on our way back up. Oh, it's telling us to go straight to dinner. Not yet. Okay, the photographer. Anyone free for an interview and a portrait? She has nothing for us to actually talk to about. So maybe when he said you should go talk to her, something's going to happen when we do the dinner progression. Okay. So nobody is demoralized yet. So let's just make sure we leave one person at the end so that we can get some extra decorum at the end. But I was expecting some story thing there. So what are the last two? We've got the engineer's hold and general storage. So we know, based off of how the boiler room works... Oh, there's something to listen for here. I wish I could see the numbers before I got to the end of the week thing. But if you do the fuel at the coal fuel at the normal rate, unless my memory's failing me again, it will heal 2 freezing characters so that they don't become not useful next week, so they don't get sick. Yep. At some point soon, we have to abandon ship. I want to get as many supplies as we can before then. So I'm definitely going to go into those other 2 rooms today. We also have a quick fix for curing people of freezing. If we wanted to run the fuel at a lower amount, it would cost us some decorum, and basically it would cure fewer people of freezing, but we can just straight... Let's see... Oh, okay. Yeah, the one time we did have freezing crew when this showed up, we had the option to assign specifically engineer characters to the boiler, and I don't think it consumed coal when it did it. Again, useful information to know game mechanic-wise before we click it. When was the last time you slept, Chief? Got a good couple hours in a while back. Couple? Going to work yourself to death before we even make land. Heard that before. It hasn't bloody happened yet. Back to work. That's our good old engineer. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my standard top-down approach. We'll deal with things up on the ice first. I suppose I said we'll check this out on our way back up. Gather research papers and journals. Oh, okay, this is another way to gain research without having to go to the research thing out on the ice. So this way, like, I'm not going to use up one of the valuable ones that's outside, but it turns out we can just do it from the inside too. But it looks like they've strongly hinted that that research thing is going to be like a final score boost thing, or at least that's what's going to get us paid after we hopefully survive all of this. Ooh. Okay, so good. Now we know that there's this new thing that showed up without the game telling us again. Come on, tell us these things. Huh? Yeah, not just our journal in there. No other hidden bits. Doctor shouldn't have anything to say. Yep, all the talking looks like that happens reliably after dinner. I'm still checking things because sometimes we get that surprise. Okay, so yep, that's where we were trying to go. That's where, in theory, the other ship, the Viscount, was moored last there was any contact with it. And that's where we came from. I'm not sure if there's more ice, like if there's more of a distance. My memory may be failing me, but I feel like there was more ice on this side before. Okay, so we can send out our scouts, which is something I very much want to do. We learned last time that the further out you are, the more dogs it takes. So it's like a 3 to unlock a spot that's 1 away, and 4 then 5. So I definitely wanted to scout everything closer to our destination as possible. There's the idea that we have to move off of the ships short term, but if we had to go over the ice at some point, I definitely want to have everything in the direction of where I assume we're heading scouted out, which means this is my next scouting point. Don't know why I go by size, but she is very... I mean, they're all ice savvy. They all have the same stats there. But she's got, like, the acrobatic stuff, so, like, if someone was going up onto the rigging and the sails, I would want her. She has, like, a unique other ability. But they're all qualified scouts. But, like, just because he's the physically biggest, and I associate that with resisting the cold, like, higher mass. So that's why I always use him first. Sorry. Okay, confirm your orders. Send him out. And we have found penguins to hunt. So now that we know... Ooh, it jumped on me. So now that we know that the food is really essential here. Let's look down there. So these are the emperor penguins, which should be very good eating for us. We should definitely hunt them. I should be able to send, regular sailors. I could also send the other scouts, but regular sailors, I feel like that's what we should do. He's clearly fully capable even with the one-arm thing. I just... whatever reason. Okay, this is the guy who was the drunk guy. I keep confusing because he's got the cigarette thing, but no. So, hunter-wise... lefty. Oh, interesting. So the first person gave us 2. Oh, the shotgun gave us the second one. Okay, so it's a bonus of 1. Excellent. That shotgun already paying off for us, and we can send up to 4 people. I mean, this is directly food that we need to survive, and if we can get extra, great. I feel like this is one of the absolute most essential things, so I want them to do this. Okay, so we're going to get 5 penguins at the end of the week, though. We won't have them for this week's food, though. Okay, so they're going to be hunting that penguin that we just scouted. Let's see. I think a couple episodes ago I was confused because I thought that, for whatever reason, the animals had migrated away, like they had just disappeared because we hadn't hunted them week. But no, I had scheduled people to hunt. That was the fishing thing. So I don't yet know if they disappear from the dot after a week if we don't use them right away. But now we've only got 4, so we can't go out to there. I can use fish. It was 2 dogs per fish, and we have 3 fish. So I theoretically can get 6 more dogs on top of everything that we've got here. But I don't want to send out the research teams while anybody's injured, because this is definitely a one-time thing, because the other research things disappeared after we used them. And the stuff on the ship, I assume, is not going to disappear, but I suppose we have to gather all of our research materials before we evacuate the ship, or it's going to get more dangerous. So I want to do a 4-dog thing here. Maybe I can use 2 fish and then 1 more 4-dog thing. Which means I would feel comfortable scouting out either of those 2 spots. That's 2 cars. Okay, let's scout there. We'll send him. And we found little penguins. Okay, since the little penguins, I believe, are the least meaty of our meals, I'm going to leave them there for this week, and we're going to find out if they disappear next week. That's when I'm willing to risk, being surprised with that. And if we turn out to have extra people later, maybe we can use dogs for something. I still feel like just from playing the really old Civilization games, or maybe some city builders, I feel like there should be stuff I can build out here. It just, feels wrong that there's not stuff out there for me to interact with. Okay. So now we need to make sure that we have enough food and fuel. So the next most important thing I would believe is the fuel. I want to get that shored up. I'm at least going to get 2 people working on shoveling coal. And I like to have 2 Johns doing that. So each sack... Oh, that's right. I can gather the extra sack of coal. I don't have to put them all into the furnace. I can always just hold on to the resources. At least coal isn't going to expire. So, yeah, Okay, Rensta will let him shovel some coal. Okay, so we want to get that coal. And they gave us the sacks right away. That at least is something that we did... it's immediately added to our supply, whereas hunting is next week. Yes, she does. Okay. Yeah, discovered we can actually put food in the furnace. So the little penguins are not nearly as effective at, but they're both 6 food for the hoosh pot. Good to know. We'll find out what the emperor penguins are after we've funded some of them. But yeah, anything could go into the furnace. And fish are apparently very, very good. But they cause malnutrition? Well, this is the furnace. The furnace doesn't have to care about malnutrition. So if we put in a full... Yeah, we could put up to 10 into here, but... there is a good question about, if we remove the boiler from the ship, would we lose the fuel that's already in it? Prior to this point, it's been a clear... Yeah, just feed it up to the point where you aren't wasting any excess. Now, I'm feeling like maybe next week will be the time to time to get out of the ship. At most, probably the one after that. So this is... But now we'll be able to run the ship hot if we need to. Okay. I am worried about the food. We also got... How many more sailors do we have? Oh, just Runt. Should have saved one more. Well, I can use the engineers for this, although they won't then be able to unfreeze themselves. But I'm just relying on running the furnace hot to help them afterwards. So that's my plan for the engineers, and that means we've got 1 scout, 1 sailor, and 2 scientists left. So now let's go take a look at the food situation. And I would like to keep 2 people left over after all of this. They certainly do. So those spoiled rations. Yeah, I do need to cure scurvy. I would have had 1 more person if that other stuff wasn't a problem. It's going to take all 4 penguins. Is just going to give us 12. I think we may have to run on low rations just to try to combat the malnourishment. I don't recall if the half rations is going to increase malnourishment, or if it just won't cure malnourishment. Another thing that I wish I remembered off the top of my head, but I don't have access to at this point in the game. I need to write it down, or like, I don't want to refer to a wiki. That feels like cheating. I could totally accidentally learn something I don't want to have spoiled for me. But, you know, I should be able to reference that. There should be like a gameplay reference in here. If there is one, I don't know where it is. But anything that you've seen, you should be able to refer back to. Okay, so we've got spoiled rations. We don't currently have any malnutrition, so as long as we're running at the normal rations, which would be a total of 50 for the week, we could deal with adding 1 more malnutrition. We used all of our tinned food. A small source of blubber. Oh wait, the hoosh it's +6, so I could get 24 by just adding all the penguins in. That would get us up to 32. The medium game, he's not any better for that. I guess we can hold on to the seal. I can get you up to 50, so I definitely have to cure someone's scurvy. That didn't help us much. So malnutrition, now it's up to 42. If I can add 10 more, this guy's not enough. Now that's funny. No nutritional content in coal, but it will let us. Okay, put 1 sack of the tinned food in there. Now we've got... We should be able to run at normal rations. We will get, but also cure 1 malnutrition. Okay, good. Oh, that healed him right away. Excellent. I didn't realize that was going to happen until the end of the week. That means we've got 3 scientists now. Interesting. Yeah, I guess he's deployed to being 6 still, but he's no longer... Okay, so we don't have 3 scientists. But he is cured, and, yep, the malnourishment hit right away. So as long as we run at regular rations, that should be fine. Okay, so the pumps. We're not ready to run the pumps yet. Ugh, the tinned food sucks so bad, because it's giving us that each time, and I don't like it. Although we already still have boiled rations left over from last time. No, we don't. Okay, I guess if I have anyone spare, I can gather more spoiled rations, and we can just use 1 of them a week and just have it trade off with the nutrition content. Okay, in that case, I think we are ready to brave the freezing. So now time for some hard choices. Engineer's hold. I'm not going to put Runt down there. Okay, engineer, you're malnourished and you're about to become freezing. Here we go. You and Dick charge into the room. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab 2 items. 2 sacks of coal. Coal has so far been very easy to get. That doesn't seem terribly valuable, but digging tools reduces the dogs required by 1 on map locations. This seems so ludicrously powerful, like especially relative to the sack of coal. And you know how I love permanent upgrades. What's this? Engineering tools. Increases frozen cured by one by when raising the heat. So one engineer could cure 2 people of freezing. I mean, this is no contest. Unless I needed to get 5 coal in 1 week, like they just weren't keeping up somehow, I don't even need those coal. So yeah, we'll take the 2 upgrades. Sorry that you're freezing. I promise you'll get better, unless I don't remember the gameplay mechanics right again. Okay, and now the general storage hold. Let's take our other engineer out with us. Okay. So what's in the general storage? Well, spoiled tinned food. I mean, it's 5 spoiled tinned food, but ew. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, more digging tools? Can these stack? That's... Okay. I mean, if I... Oh, it says minimum 3. So that means that the places with 5, I could still have only 3 dogs to get to. I think we haven't done, like, enough scouting to the outer reaches. Like, that's still gonna pay off. So I'll definitely take that. Now it's between the ale. Like, curing demoralization. We currently aren't getting a ton of that, but we are getting, like, we have our photographer who can raise morale for us. I mean, yeah, worth a total of 102 coal, and I feel like timber should be useful for constructing those structures that we should be building out on the ice. So, I mean, that's way better than the coal as well. Okay, so... Yep, I'm sorry that you are now freezing. Now, we've only got 4 people left on that, so we've got Runt, extra sailor, 1 scout, and our 2 scientists left over. Okay, so what places do we have left to go to? I do still have a scout, so I could send our... Like, I could feed a couple of fish and send our scout... Oh, sweet, now it only takes 3. Oh. Now that it only takes 3, I could send 2 scouts out, like, just on fish. But now I've got a maximum value problem, because the fish would give us 2 dogs, and then I would have a dog left over, so I'm strongly tempted to send more people out hunting. That kind of a thing. So that hurts a little bit, so I'm going to refrain from that right now. But it's good to know that's an option. Ooh. I wonder, if I clicked on one of these things... Yeah, it says 5 dogs. It doesn't tell us, like, how we would assign people to it. So I guess next week I just have to make that the first priority instead of exploration. That way I've got flexibility when trying out a new gameplay feature. Yeah, it still feels weird when we're trying to find magnetic south, like that's the whole premise of the original expedition. And I'm used to the red being like, that's pointing north. So north is that direction. So we're south of what I can only assume would be Antarctica. That's got to be some kind of other island. But it still feels like, you know, there's an up-down flip problem here to me. And I must be figuring it out wrong. Or maybe it's not actually Earth. Okay. So nothing there, nothing there. We could do some pump, like we could have somebody run the pumps, send 1 more person down to be freezing, but then we'd have to run the furnace hot. Doctor has nothing for us. Okay, let's assign our scientists to this. Can I put Runt on it? Nope. Has to be science, yeah. I figured I'd give it a try, maybe he can apprentice, but... Okay. So that's going to give us decorum, so we'll be up to 95. That works out. I felt like it was missing someone, but that's because he's locked. Okay. All the valuable research they can find. Okay. So we're still happy. So now we only have 3 people left. It's our last sailor and our last scout. So the only tasks that we have left are going for food, pulling more spoiled rations, or sending someone to the photographer. I suppose this is a good time for the photographer. Oh, sorry, I meant to go... There we go, down. She disappeared. So yeah, I mean, this would be a heck of an interview for posterity. Or our acrobat scout. I'll go with this. So we got another research. Our decorum is exactly back up to maximum, and our crew member has been assigned. Okay, and now we've only got one spot left for us to assign. We'll have Runt gather one more crate of spoiled rations for us. As long as it's only one per week, that'll make do. So everyone is assigned. He's blue and green. He looks extra sick down there. And it is time to call for dinner. After dinner, it'll be conversation time. Uh-oh. So this week or next week? Guess it's going to be this week. Shoot. By a torrent of flooding, the crew are alarmed. Frantic arguments break out. Okay, so it'll become frostbite after a week, unless cured. Some even now insist on saying, oh boy. Maybe I should wait until after dinner to assign everybody except for the coal and food people. Most argue to take the furnace from the boiler and abandon ship right now. Yeah, I mean, as opposed to waiting a week. But well, we can run the furnace hot, which will hopefully do more. But now that the, keep her lit. Hey, anyone we can cure from freezing? No, we're already freezing. Dang it. I could do that first thing next week, but man, this is a huge problem for us. Do we do it now? Or do we wait? Okay. I paused, I searched the entire ship. This time there is nobody to talk to. Which was a bit alarming. I did briefly talk with the kennel master, but there was nothing related to that whole, hey, the ship started taking on water event. So this may be one of the biggest decisions I have to make this game. Oh, I said all that and he's right here. Worked with a lot of captains in my time. Half of them don't know their R's from their elbows. You're different from most of them. That's just asking for trouble. I'll try to live up to your expectations. You better. Don't bloody do it for me, Shaw. He still has more to say? Nope. Okay. So this is quite possibly the biggest thing we have to worry about for this whole game is, do we abandon ship now? I think we can wait one more week. It really depends if they're done giving us issues now, or if they've given us the bad stuff, because we're going to run the furnace at extra hot to cure the freezing people, I hope, so they don't get frostbite. The demoralized people are going to take some of our morale down, but we can deal with that. So I feel like all the statuses that we have, we can deal with. Ugh, tough choice. I wanted to stay one more week, so can I do it while we're still here? Okay. This could be a terrible idea. Okay, now we can look at these stats. So, food. Normal. Yeah. Okay, so one crew member will be cured of malnourishment, and one will be cured of freezing. Wow, I must have been running it extra. So in order to cure 2, I was wrong again. At least these seem to be working this time, dang it. So we can cure 2 crew members of freezing. I thought that's what I had done before. So we're going to still have 2 people with frostbite. We're going to have the doctor tend to them, and at least the malnourishment will have been taken care of. And if I hadn't had the extra freezing people, I would have still been fine. So, well, couldn't expect that it was going to happen this week. Okay, let's see what happens. Hey, 5 penguins. The dogs are rested. Another week on the ice. Oh, someone got frozen on the hunt, so now we've got another frozen person. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit random as to who gets cured. So that's... Yeah, there's 2 decorum. Now we got frostbite, so we're gonna have 2 people. Hopefully only the 2 people. Okay. If the boat cracks and everything just falls down. I start the game over. I can see that the smokestack is leaning a bit more, and looks like the deck is cracked. Oh, crap. It was, Okay, well, I guess I'm going to be doing this week over and making different choices. It does have... I guess we're going to learn about the tree. The save tree. You can't escape. Await your fate. Okay, I get it. Everyone's dead. They said a few weeks at most. You, along with the rest of your expedition and your hopes of rescue, are at the bottom of the ice. I'm gonna get a credit sequence. There are multiple endings. There might be some kind of epilogue, so I'm gonna let this run. Maybe I'll put it in fast forward in post or something. Because I like to give people their credit. Sad accordion noises play. Aw, we've got some good boys and girls. We got some cute Easter eggs here in the credits. Oh, there's the seals. He has a voice. I've been doing all the voice stuff. Where'd that come from, then? Oh, their YouTube team. I'm definitely going to play again to get farther, maybe make different decisions, obviously for the last week. But I've got a really big conundrum. I'll let this finish. I like that logo. And that logo. Okay. So, one thing that I haven't gone into at all so far is there is a save tree where you can, like, uh-oh, what happened to us? I guess there is no save at week 8, but you can go back to any individual week. So, like, literally at the start of the expedition, I could go through and make different choices. You can see how things were progressing each week. Oh, week 6, we had absolutely no night at all, and then it, I guess we were getting back out of that. It was still getting colder, though, so I don't know what's up. So yeah, now I've got the huge question of, do I simply start back over from week 7, because I can load, essentially, the last save? Or do I want to replay the stuff before with better knowledge of how the resource things work and just sort of fast forward my way towards, like, week 5 or so when we got stuck in the ice? but basically to when the game actually started. So that's a really tough question. I suppose this is a good point to stop this episode, but yeah. Well, maybe that's something I should ask. Should I start game over and just sort of speed through until I get to week 5 and basically restart the game from the point where we could actually start making real decisions, and like just come back in on that as like the next episode at like week 5, where we can finally start, assigning people to get the coal and the food? Or should I just load back into week 7? Gonna have to think about that. But I accidentally killed us all. I did say it was going to be the biggest decision of that playthrough, and nope, that was more of an emergency. Like, if the animation still showed like it was flooding in, no, that should have been an obvious, it has been compromised, it is going to crack now. I guess it was like when the lower deck flooded, I was like, oh, but we're not seeing that as an emergency where we need to evacuate. So okay, the second level is like, okay, next week, and that time it crushed us. So I guess I learned the wrong lesson from earlier, and that's gonna do it with at least this playthrough. A little bit of a depressing end on that one, but I'm definitely going to keep playing, so we will see these people again. So I'll see you in the next episode of Pale Beyond, and until then, bye-bye.